We welcome all participants to our first ever virtual conference. Thank you all for participating in this special event. I'm Kathy Evans, the 100th NCDA President and the first African American to hold this office. It is important to us that the people we support, help, and serve see themselves in order to truly feel that support. That's why the diverse board is important to NCDA leadership. Many people have approached me and said how much it means to them to have a BIPOC person in the highest NCDA office. Our president-elect is also a woman of color, and our board is more diverse as well. NCDA is sharing informative allyship resources with you, and our Diversity and Inclusion Committee is involved and active. Almost a year ago, I chose the conference theme, Inspiring Innovation, Increasing Diversity, and Promoting Social Justice and Career Practice. These themes have guided my life and work. We can call it career serendipity that during my presidency, two things have occurred: a worldwide reckoning of anti-racism and a non-negotiable need to innovate in response to a global pandemic. NCDA has taken steps to grow and act on these conference themes, but it has further to grow, both as an organization and individuals. I know that becoming advocates for social justice is an individual process. So today, I like to do what I've done throughout my career, and that is plant a few seeds. It's up to each of us to choose how we nurture these seeds in ourselves, in our own communities, and in our career services. Sometimes when we plant seeds, growth can be hard to see. In a multicultural class that I taught at the University of South Carolina, there was a white male who sat in the back of the classroom who never engaged in discussion and who I thought seemed disinterested the whole time. However, at the end of the class, he wrote me a long, honest letter about how important and pivotal the class was for him. He was unlearning the racism that had been taught and passed down in his family for generations. The seeds that I planted grew in him very quickly, but it usually doesn't happen that way. Sometimes it is years before those seeds take root. Hope and perseverance are the first seeds I'd like to plant in your minds today. Once you become involved in social action, hang in there with hope and perseverance. We are constantly seeing injustices towards marginalized groups, BIPOC communities, the LGBTQ2S+ community, people living with disabilities, immigrants, those who have been previously incarcerated, those living in poverty, and those experiencing injustice for religion or gender. More often than not, as helpers, we end up teaching people how to cope with career-related injustices. Let me plant this seed. Instead of acceptance and coping, how do we support clients to safely change oppressive systems? How can we, as career professionals, advocate for a world in which this coping is no longer necessary? When we take active measures to combat the bias systems that we help our clients and students navigate, they can start to feel safe enough to tackle gender bias in the workplace, discriminatory hiring practices, privilege, and microaggressions. One way that I've taken action is to invite 3 female keynote speakers for this conference, 2 women of color, and an international voice. Another seed I want to plant is for you to consider this question. Seeing the direct results of career injustices, what can we as career professionals do to change them? In addition to diversity and social justice, innovation is the third theme I chose. How we're changing what we're doing. I remember arguing with colleagues about teaching online classes because so many of them were resisting progress and technology, and they didn't believe conversations and connections could happen online. How many of us in these past few months have persevered amid lockdowns, new work from home situations, illness and worry, and learned new technologies that helped us help others? How do we prepare for the future of our work? How do we innovate now, upskill, and learn new technologies that help us do our jobs well? One way is to learn from leaders from diverse backgrounds, and we can do that here. We have 3 outstanding keynote addresses and many live sessions I have chosen that specifically address the themes of the conference. NCDA chose to innovate and deliver this conference online. I'd like to thank our keynoters, presenters, and sponsors who chose to innovate with us. In particular, our major sponsors, the American Counseling Association, Perrin, GIST, and Peak Careers, supported and trusted this new venture and are here to boost your professional growth. Later today, we will host the NCDA annual membership meeting, where you will be asked to decide on the final slate of future officers. Your input into future leadership is vital in keeping our tradition of excellence and in increasing diversity in our organization. Please join us at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Seeds need fertile ground to grow, and it feels like there is a collective reckoning happening. People are ready to grow, ready to act, and make meaningful change. In attending this conference, I would like you to feel hope that things are changing and that you understand how to be a part of that change. I'd like you to feel that you have strategies in mind for becoming an ally and becoming involved in social action. Integrating social justice into career services is a guiding value of NCDA. Let's support people at the intersections of diversity and inclusion, social justice and innovation, as we continue to inspire careers and empower lives. I have planted my seeds today. It's up to you now to grow and plant your own. Thank you.